Check those. Hey, grab the scanner, yeah? This is fucking tight.
So basically what we're going to do right now, I'm just checking for the piston going to come up to be top dead center. So we got to get this nice and to TDC before we start turning it down, so we can open up and see what this chain looks like, because old Roy boy here ain't running right. So let's see what we got. Smell gas. Because we're gonna have to do some adjustment to the valves, because we opened that up not too long ago, just this past winter. It's gotta be a little chilly because the heater just fired up again, and I have it. I think I have it off. Shouldn't be on. See, I think I can see another problem here. Like, this guy's like spitting gas out of here.
Go ahead and get this stuff, and he's gonna need it on the 6th, so the stuff can get him before that. But
all right,
you know, like the seat.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's
gas line too. We've become. Damn it. Gonna have to replace that line.
yeah,
it's over there by the hoist. Here.
On this side?
Over here. It won't go, that thing won't go up?
What? Yeah, but he was...
Perfect with that there. There we go. So basically the car came in today because he's sputtering off. It sounds like he's misfiring. And you can smell a lot of gas coming out of it and blue smoke. Blue smoke's not good, but white smoke's worst. So what we're going to do, we're going to check the timing on it, because that's something we never touched here. And I don't know who's ever done it on this thing. So we're going to go ahead and check the timing, and then we're going to recheck all the valves, which is what we did at the beginning. We did valve stem seals, we did the springs, and then when we cleaned up all the whole side of this engine, this is a side engine, which means that we can open it up from right here and check out the valves. We cleaned up all the valves, we made sure that, so I could see there's oil coming up here, but we're going to have to recheck them, and just to make sure that they're seating right, but once we check this timing chain. So let's get back on it. We got her down to top dead center. We're going to go ahead and open them up. We're going to take off the harmonic balancer or dampener, and then remove the cover and see what this bad boy looks like, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the culprit there. That's buddy. I think it's 2 posts, to be honest with you. He did a... oh, come on, buddy. Let's see if we can Dampeners are a piece of metal, and then they're pressed in with a piece of rubber in between them, and yanking them or hitting them may damage them. And they're not cheap, and especially for good old Roy here, God knows where I'd be able to find a 1964 dampener for this thing. And so this is the proper way to remove it. A lot of times, like I said, they'll come out smoothly. If you put a little pressure with your hand, it'll slide right out. But we don't suggest for you to bang them out. Get yourself the extractor, get yourself a puller, and just pull it out. Make sure you thread it in right so you don't damage the threads that are supplied in here on the dampeners. That's why this is the way you got to pull them out, because I don't want to damage this. I don't know where I'll find another one, and he needs to be ready for his show. Let's get your back. Yes, sir. I want to be the one to tell Richard, oh, we're gonna have to wait a week for a new dampener here, buddy. So let's just spray it down. Come on, Campbell Midwest, work your magic, buddy. This is what I mean, like, this is the rubber piece that's kind of inlaid in there, and you don't want to hit it because, you know, this is a 50-year-old car, man. If I smack this, 2 cylinders will drop. There we go. Yep. And then, yeah, see? Alright, time to take these apart. We close at 5. Excuse me? Yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on the schedule for a drop off at noon, or at 2. Alright, let's see. This. This is the oil slinger. Let's get him out of here. There we go. This is a lot of slack on there. Check this out, bro. Yep, quite a bit. So now we gotta line up the points, make sure everything's all aligned, and then we'll install the new one, remove these old sprockets, remove the old chain, install new stuff. But yes, that's...
How long do you think that chain has been there?
This looks like an original chain. If I can, like, once we take it off, I should be able to remove this gunk from this number. Maybe. This is what did I say? Milling, I think. Looks like it. I don't know. Check it out in a minute. See what it says. If there's a number. Look. What do you think of that chain?
Oh, you could already see it. Done.
Why shouldn't it have any slack? Because that's the reason it's misfiring, because this is supposed to be on time. Nice and tight, everything's on time. When it's loose like this, valves are not opening when they should, they're not closing when they should, sparks are off, and that's what causes the misfire. So the chain is actually, it's trying to catch up, and that's bad.
What do you
So
need, Jay?
it's a good thing, man. It's really good. It's not anything else that we did to it. It's something that we knew because we never even opened it before. Okay. Look at it. This guy's a little thinner than what we got in the car. Nothing to worry about. We're gonna go ahead and just remove the old parts. Most car parts are all stamped with numbers, so I'm hoping we can see the numbers to this guy and order the proper parts. So basically what I initially thought, I had it at TDC, which is the acronym for top dead center. Top dead center means we have our first cylinder all the way to the top. I had it down in this one in the middle. I corrected it, bringing it all the way over here. So now, because it wants to be stubborn, I have to go through the process of pulling this thing out again. So that's what we're doing. Then now, after this, we'll be able to remove the chain and install our new one. Bam! Perfect. Evening hits back here. So we got the seal coming in a minute, and we're gonna make our own gasket for it. We don't learn. Alright, let me see. We gotta get that prop off. Let me get that prop off. Alright, let me see if we can move this guy out. See how like loose that is? And I mean, hold on. In there. Walking. I gotta make it all come out together. Bottom one. We gotta make this guy walk out too.
You got it up, bro?
Trying to.
On
Trying
the
to
bottom
be careful,
sprocket?
man. The bottom sprockets. Let's see if we can give it some love juice. Get it out. Let it sit in there a little bit. Where's that go-go juice?
Right here.
the power vested in Kimball, I command you to come free. Boy, he's on there. I can't even. A couple of love taps to see if it comes out. And, you know, no, it ain't gonna happen either because it's too thick. Our buddy Kevin cannot come and help us. Let me see if I can get it. Alright. Finally broke it free. Let me push it back in there.
Alright, so this is the timing chain removal for...
Well, this timing chain removal is for a 1964 AMC Rambler Classic 770 with a 3.2 liter inline 6 overhead. So
she's the Navy chick.
I'm wrong as usual. These don't have numbers. It's okay. This is a double roller chain, I think. Yeah. It's gonna be a totally different setup.
¿Y no tiene números?
Let me see if I can clean some up.
So what number?
It's it looks like 3122868. I think I want to say, or 3122 could be the number. Well, initially for Roy here, he's a 1964 AMC Rambler 770 Classic with a 3.2 inline 6, which comes out to be 192. We did the work on the top of the head. We did valve work, springs. We did the new seals. We cleaned up all the rods. We cleaned up all the inside of the bottom down here. We opened these guys up, and then he came back just a little bit before the weather got better, and his timing chain happened to be about 3/4 loose. So now, one of the problems that we would say is that we have a 55-year-old car that parts haven't been manufactured for in quite some time. So when you rely on your local stores, they're only subjected to see the pictures that they have, and they work with what they have. Unfortunately for us, we thought we had the right kit, and we do not. Once you open this thing up, it did not. Visually, we knew it didn't look the same, and the gears and sprockets are so much more bigger. But you know, we couldn't find. By calling around, we located a chain at one place called Mavericks. Napa only had setups for the 296.
Where all did you call, and how many days have it taken you just calling around?
We have been now, it's 4 days calling around, and actually it was 2 days of calling around, and I managed to get in contact with a company with a man from his name's Steve from I think it was a Blazer Automotive for Nash and Ramblers. And let me tell you, man, that man knows his stuff. Got on the phone, but after dealing with so many people that, you know, they tell you this is what it is, I have it, and then it comes here and it's quite disappointing because it definitely is not what you need. You get skeptical and you just keep asking questions, and he was very patient with me enough to let me know and walk me through exactly what I had in my hands. So we will be getting the timing chain for him, but it was very hard because we were trying to look around, and you know, a lot of times there's not a lot of information out there that lets you know where you're going to find parts for a 55-year-old car. So
And
we have to.
And did the owner of the car, did he have a deadline to meet, or is it something that he was going to do with the car?
Now, Roy had to be at a show, and unfortunately, one of the biggest downfalls for a lot of us car guys is not making those shows or not getting to the show due to mechanical failure or whatnot, interior not being done, not painted, whatever it may be. And that, in our book, comes up as a fail. So just as bad as he wanted the car to be there, it's a failure on my part because the car was never finished and able to get it to the show. So at this moment, I mean, even though we are still running to get it done, it's lost a little bit of a luster to him. So, I mean, it's okay. We'll work our way back up and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, can you show me the difference between the one that the parts of the paint that you got? Because it was not, they tell you, so in theory, they think that this should work. Can you explain to me why this will not work? The difference between these two chains, what is in your hand, and
So basically, what a lot of times what you see is kind of what you get. Yeah, they'll show you something that looks similar to what you may have in your car, but again, these are parts that haven't been manufactured in quite some time, since probably in the early 80s. And whatever they show may look like this, but when you get something that looks like this, obviously you can see totally different size, thickness and chain. You know, it's disappointing, but unfortunately, really there's not anybody else to blame because they're only working off of catalogs that are given to them by the people that they work for.
does the catalog have actual photograph, or they just drawings?
They have photographs. All these catalogs have photographs of these pictures, but from what I can tell is a lot of times they'll take a picture of this and just plaster it for every timing chain because every timing chain looks like this. Not the same size, you know, and a lot of times they don't put down dimensions, they don't put down any kind of specs for us to follow. So you're kind of at the mercy of your parts store. These are some of the things when it comes down to these older cars. You do need your specialty shops. Like I said again, there's Napa has a very big selection, but try to help us out as well. And we couldn't come across it. Thanks to the guys over there at Blazer. And this Wednesday we should be getting that chain in, and hopefully everything works out.